All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Commons. My name is Ike Onoa. And to my right?
Enyo Suji, House of Commons.
LD Demola, House of Commons.
Pascal Atuma, House of Commons.
House of Commons?
Swag out. I'm my voice.
All right, guys, today's topic is education the answer to the black race? Well, that's some heavy topic. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, good.
I was fortunate enough to work on a college campus, working with the state of California. Not for the state of California, but I worked with them, some grant funding programs. And I will say wholeheartedly, is an education the answer for blacks? Yes. Is the educational system the answer for blacks or for anyone? Absolutely not.
Wow, that's deep.
And
Okay,
Okay.
we'll go into it. Okay.
Okay.
That's
For
fine.
me, education is not the only answer for blacks, for the black race. There's a couple of things that need to be in place, because education is not everything.
Right.
Education is good, it will take you to a certain level,
Right.
but education is not the only answer, because we have a lot of black brothers, black sisters who are educated but fools.
Mm.
I think, for me, the things that the black people should look into is entrepreneurship.
Mm. Okay, we'll go deep.
I'm coming.
We'll go
Yeah, I'm coming. Entrepreneurship, ownership, building a family structure, and respect for one another.
Okay, we'll go deep. What's your point, or what you agree with the statement?
Is the education is the
Is
answer?
education the answer for the black race?
It depends. It depends. Yes and no. Yes and no. So depending on what we're talking about, we'll get into that later. But yeah.
Okay, good. I'll say kind of yes and no. As a matter of fact, I think education is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, but I think we have a lot of educated people, like Pascal said. What I think is the answer is re-education of the black men, of the black race. That's what I think is the answer. And just to piggyback off something I said in the earlier episode, decolonization of the black mentality. That is the answer to the black race. Okay, so now...
Can I start?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
And this, to me, this is a really touchy, important subject because I've been around, we've all been around, nothing but educated people from the educational system. I'll give a quick story. Went to high school in the United States of America, got my bachelor, my 12-year high school diploma, went to a junior college. My mom worked for Countrywide, she also owned a home under Countrywide. She lost the job, she lost the home, she went back to Nigeria. I had to make a decision. I was working at the bank, JP Chase. I saw what actual power is. I saw vividly. Working at JP Chase, I saw who was actually winning in society. A large percentage of those people, it didn't come from the educational system. I think the important thing to understand is trade and skill.
Entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Entrepreneurship, yeah.
Having a skill, learning a trade is what is important for everyone in life. You have to have something that you can do to bring in resources.
So,
The educational system, to me, I think has been constructed in a way that, especially these days, it doesn't really benefit anybody actually going to a 4-year school. Truthfully, I'll just be absolutely honest. But we'll
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going, right?
okay, go.
Aldi, since we've been on this panel, today is the day you made the most points.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Because we've
I
been
don't think
on,
the
we've been on a lot of...
I don't think
We've
the
been on a
audience
lot
will
of
agree with
shows.
that.
So you've been over 30 shows and we've got to take. That's not a compliment.
Aldi have been saying
It's rubbish.
Today he's been saying good things, but today you've made the most sense.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you where you made the most sense. You said working at JP Chase. You found out and you witnessed, you realized who the power is in their hands. And I can assure you that you were surprised that some people with some master's degrees and PhD degrees only had about $300 left in their account.
Chief, are you telling me, especially here in America?
And some Spanish
Chief.
people who were
Plumbers.
who were plumbers and painters who are coming in with
Money.
inside their account.
Money.
So that opened your eyes up. That's why I say education is not the problem, it's not the solution for the black race. In the sense that, look at Chinese people. Let's take China for example. If you go to every part of the world, there's a Chinese restaurant. Name any part of the world that you go in today that was not a Chinese restaurant. I was watching an African movie the other day. I'm not going to mention the name of the movie because the person is my friend, so I can't bash the person here. I'm watching an African movie set in Africa, not set in London, not set in Australia, not set in America, set in Africa. And these guys were playing the lead characters. And what this guy was trying to impress his girlfriend or wife to be with is to go and buy Chinese food. Over, not in one scene, over and over and over again. They were here advertising Chinese food to the whole of Africa. Okay, then how did Chinese food come about? Was it in the classroom? Did Chinese people learn how to cook Chinese food in the classroom?
It's funny that you're mentioning about, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
We'll
it's entrepreneurship. So the Chinese have found a way to sell their food to the whole world. Because I don't know any part of the world that doesn't eat Chinese food. That's number one.
You're saying Chinese food. Let's just be specific. There's no part of the world that there's not a Chinatown. There's no country that there's not a Chinatown.
So them building, even if you go to US here, in Los Angeles here, I went to do a business one time in downtown and I saw a Chinese bank. This Chinese bank was set up for Chinese people who does business in downtown LA to be able to transfer their funds and make their, bring in their orders and pay their people, right? So what I'm saying is this. Education is not the only key. Everybody was not born to be educated, but everybody have some kind of talent and skill. That God put into them.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
I am.
Hey, you have something to say?
But you see, so we need to go into ourselves, into the black race, and find out if you can play soccer. Play soccer, just learn enough education to survive. Play soccer to the T. If it's basketball, go to school. While you're in school, make sure that number one is basketball.
Well, Pascal.
So
just to run off of what you just said.
Yeah.
Now,
So
you just said something. If you can play soccer to the team. That's not the problem there. We have the talent. We have the people that can play the soccer. The thing is the society. Although only lately they've been embracing people that play soccer. When I was growing up, nobody embraced you if you have talent and you can play soccer.
You're being too specific to what you said.
I could have been a professional soccer player if that was embraced during my time. During my time, when I was in high school, only the dropouts played soccer on a professional level, played in professional leagues. Dropouts,
only families only allow their
correct. If you're not doing well in school, who are you to say you want to act? When I was growing up, when I was in high school.
And what is acting?
So you see, exactly. So now we're talking about entrepreneurship and what you just because I have to say that because of what you just said. So we have the talent. It is the society that has to make it conducive. Just like we said, you have Chinese banks almost everywhere. Our people making banks available for me if I have talent, if I'm a singer, to help me get a record deal. See stuff like that. Okay, sorry.
I've done the entire, apart from masters or any type of doctorate, I've done the educational system in America from the rooter to the tutor, from beginning to end. And when I look back and examine what that is and what it was, the cookie cutter education system didn't just fail black folks. It failed everyone that didn't have the resources or the access to do more, or didn't do certain careers that were automatically gonna place you into something where Google is calling you as soon as you're done with your degree. That's one. Two, now in this day and age, when I was graduating, they were they were picketing, or not picketing, they were protesting because the hikes in tuition were going up every quarter. Every quarter. People can't even afford to go to school. Then when they're done with school, they can't even afford to pay back the money that they borrowed to go to school. So, I think that not only can people they can't afford it. When you get out of school, depending on what you did and what you the skills that you may or may not have gotten, you don't even have the skills practically and then mentally to approach life. Because from 4 years old to 21, for me it was older, but 21, everything has been guided
in school.
Then once you left school, now you're gonna face real life. And real life, and one more thing, because I'm lived this. You get out, like he said, because that's real. The accepting of what you want to do or what you truly would like to do. Because society makes you believe that everybody else isn't hustling and struggling, you now want to fit into some facade that doesn't even exist in life. You want to prove that you have it when you don't have it. You want to get into a career or do things that may not be for you. And I feel like a lot of people do things that aren't for them just because it's what everybody else is told them to do and what everybody say is supposed to be cool to do. So when they're doing careers like plumbing and stuff like that, the plumbers, they got the money, they don't care because they got money. But the careers that don't have that sound, that don't ring a bell like that, have that prestige. It's like, oh,
Like carpentry.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me say something.
No, please. You know, you expand this yours. You expand it. Let me expand mine, and
Okay.
then you can say please. So we take it around. Okay. Going to my first topic, why I said education is not the only key, is re-educating ourselves. I'm going to take it home where we're from. We're all from Nigeria. We're all Nigerian, you know, so we live in America, we affect the world in general. Look at our country. We're not lacking educated people.
Yes, we are.
You must now know the ratio
we are.
of educated people that are
Yes, we are.
educated
Yes, I'll say 100%.
that
Yes,
are
we are.
unemployed. Okay.
Don't show me a
All right.
paper.
All right, we'll go there.
Don't
Okay,
show me a
talk about
paper.
different kind of
I'm
education.
talking about a different kind of education.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
finish though. We're not lacking
I know where you're going.
we're not lacking
Of course,
okay, gentlemen.
Okay,
We're not lacking in education, but we know what we're lacking re-educating ourselves. That's why we're in the problem. We're going through the problem we're going through now. Nigeria makes what? We're about number 6 in the world when it comes to oil exportation. We export oil, we're number 6. We make a lot of money in the world. What happens to that oil is being sold back to us as petrol and for our cars. The same oil that we produce the crude for. What kind of education is that? We supply what? Cocoa.
So
Look,
we provide the raw material.
we provide the raw material, the raw
them to
crude,
go and process-
and buy petrol
and process and send us back.
from the Western world. We provide cocoa. We grow cocoa and export cocoa. What do they bring that cocoa back? Bonvita, chocolate. We buy it we import it Ovaltine, Milo, Choco Milo. We buy it from the white Oiboman.
No, well, I'm
Plastic.
traveling from here, not to cut you short, traveling from here to Nigeria. My friend's wife tells me the particular brand of chocolate.
There you go. But the raw materials was grown in Africa, in Nigeria. We provide rubber. They sell us plastic.
So let me ask you this. If that's the case, where are the educated people that we have so much
That's
of?
what I'm
That's
saying.
what
We're
it
not
is.
lacking education. We are lacking re-education, the mentality behind it. If our leaders, if our so-called people that are controlling those resources from going out and making the right decisions, we will not have to be there.
It's not our leaders.
Okay.
It is Nigerians. Let me say something, please.
Okay.
Let me say something.
Come in there. Say it's
After
not-
I worked at JP Morgan Chase, right? I worked at JP Morgan Chase during the economic crash, right? So I was in the banking system when IndyMac closed. When people were foreclosing, I was in that. My mom lost her job and she left. I was faced with a decision. That was after 2 years of junior college. I either went into a 4-year college, transferred, or took a trade with no doubt in my mind. I spent $4,000. I went and got certified in computers, and I have never looked back, and I will never look back, because all my friends who went into 4-year colleges, you know what they're doing today? They're broke. They're dead.
Somebody, huh?
I own a business of my own, and I'm employed. And I'm getting all the skills I want. In the event that I want to go back to college and finish it, I have the money to finance myself into college. The thing is this. When you mention that we have educated people, people forget the foundation of life is need. The basics of life is need, right? So in Nigeria, we have, in a room of 100 educated people, we have 33% are doctors, 33% are lawyers, 33% are engineers. Do you know that 1% bus driver controls all their destinies? Because he's the only one that has that skill. He becomes the most important. I asked somebody this in Nigeria the other day. I said, he was telling me some guy's an ordinary bus driver. I said, that's funny. Look at Lagos for one second. Let's say in one day, the bus drivers go on strike and the doctors go on strike. What affects Nigeria's economy more? The bus drivers or the doctors? Do you know in 2012, only 28% of the United States of America had a 4-year degree? How is that the fact? And this is the most powerful country in the world. How is it that a dropout created Facebook that controls the world? Because it always goes back to need. So if you're a doctor in a society and we're going out to fish, let's say we live in an island.
Okay.
Hold up. Let me finish. We live in an island and fishing is the thing, right? We need more fishermen than doctors. But in Nigerian mentality, we are stuck with doctor, lawyer, engineer, and we believe that's education.
Well,
but we're not even able to bring in what we need.
Can I come in? Yeah.
Okay, you can come in. Okay.
Can I come in? Okay. On what LJ said, if you go to, let's use Nigeria for instance.
Right.
You live in a society in Nigeria where someone go to school, have a bachelor's, have a master's. They finish their bachelor's and master's. They stay in line and say they're looking for a job. Some people will stay at home for 3 or 4 years, right? Suffer and say they're looking for a job.
Right.
Whereas the next door neighbor, who is a carpenter, is there designing this kind of couches. You know what I'm saying? And making money, and right in front of him, that guy is building a 2-3 story building right in front of him. He doesn't have a college degree. Do you want to tell me that someone who went to college cannot go back, use his college sense, and now learn how to do this thing?
They can't.
They can't. You
They
know why?
can.
They can, but they will never do it. You know why they will not do it? Ego.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is, education is not our problem. Our problem is facing reality.
Okay, okay, hold on.
High five.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Our problem is
What you guys just
facing
said now,
reality.
look, that's reality, and I agree with you guys. But how does this tie into what I said about the system in Nigeria, us moving forward, though? Because your example that you gave, you know, well, anyways, let's move forward.
No. Continue.
Let's move on.
Continue.
Because the thing is that when I'm talking about, you know, we produce crude oil and sell it, you know, and buy petrol. How does that tie into?
Okay, that's
Can I ask you this?
No,
Let me answer it from a factual perspective.
As far as the solution to that.
ask you.
Right.
Factual. There's something in United States of America called community college. You know what community college does? They look outside at what is needed, and they create fast-track programs to fix those issues. So instead of you spending 4 years to dig oil, they will find a way to train you in 6 months to get you out there working, to start the economy. It's nothing to do with your title. It is the fact that you are needed, and that's what brings results.
What I'm talking about, or the solution to our. We're not talking about brain drain, or no. Hold on.
No, we're not talking about brain drain.
I'm not talking about brain drain at all. I'm talking about the system that makes you sell crude oil and buy petrol from the same people you sold the crude oil to. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways,
let me answer it for you.
Okay, answer.
The number one answer to it is ignorance.
Thank you.
High five.
Thank you. Now that's an answer.
Number two,
Uh-huh.
greed.
True. Thank you again.
Number three, corruption.
You are on point on all those. Thank you.
Number four, lack of vision and lack of foresight.
Hey! Bam!
Pascal for president.
This one. I didn't know this
Pascal. What is your party? Say it. What is your party?
Wow!
Shy. Hold on. Of every episode we have done before, this guy is today is the first time we have.
Thank you. This is what I use like.
Okay, thank you. Okay, explain that, then I'm going to come in.
Let me
Expatiate, my brother, Russ.
Out of ignorance, our people fail to see the qualities in our own people. The reason why I'm saying is this: if you come to the United States of America, where most of our leaders fly to come and get medical attention, most of the doctors in the hospital are Nigerians. So you fly all the way from Nigeria to come to America to be attended by a Nigerian doctor.
Can I add to what you're saying?
Yes.
Can I add to what you're saying?
Yes.
Not only is that the fact, but here's another interesting thing. The fact is, in Nigeria, when they make you super hot, bitter leaf drink, and they tell you to drink it, that is more medicating. Well, that actually gives you better results than what you are flying here to come and do.
LD, thank you very much. You just went too deep even right now. Because we already have the... Hey, you went too deep right there.
We already have it.
But that's real. That's real what you just said. Okay.
Yeah, so,
which is a metaphor for everything that we're saying.
You have this educated Nigerian doctor in America. All he needs in Nigeria to perform that services that you're coming to America to get is just the infrastructure. and you are in the government, you can commission that infrastructure and actually make money.
Exactly, and we have to reach the money to do
so
that.
Instead of you to do that, you prefer to fly to America to come to where another government has built the infrastructure.
Can I
come and use it?
Can I ask a question to everybody?
Yeah,
When you're done?
everybody.
Okay.
And when you use after you go home, right? And then you brag to the rest of the people. I just came back from London. And what is your
Send your kid to Oxford. Send your kid to Harvard. Send your kid to all these other schools that are not at home.
And the stupid people, they ask, what is your doctor's name? Oh, his name is Dr. Abayomi. He's Dr. Abayomi in America. No, it's Nigeria.
You know what I'm saying?
But you were the one that made Dr. Abayomi to reside in America because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Dr. Abayomi is doing what he's supposed to do. He was sent to school to study medicine. He did it.
Wow.
And he chose the best path.
Okay.
I'm coming. So now, when it comes to oil, we have petroleum engineers. We have electrical engineers.
We're the best of them.
We have chemical engineers. If you did sciences in school, you can do the analysis of what oil entails.
Correct.
That's what oil
So education is not our
It's
issue.
not a problem. I went to engineering school.
Right.
So I know what it takes. So I know the game.
Right.
So now, but they are not willing to do it because somebody in the government is benefiting from that crude oil being sold. And his core friends is benefiting from that crude oil being sold.
Right.
And somebody is benefiting from that crude oil being imported.
Correct.
Back
It's funny you say that.
So
Somebody told me that
actually on point. Okay.
Nigeria's power problem, our light system is never going to be fixed because there's somebody.
Yeah, because of the unions that are generators
yes.
selling that's making money. Okay, ask your
I
question
have
now.
a question
Yes,
for
please.
everybody. Now, we've established that obviously education is not our problem. It's not that we're not educated.
We're going to go to the black side though. In
That's
America.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, number one, how long do you think it will take for us to get out of this mentality that we have, and what will it take for us to get out of it?
Huh.
It's already
Okay,
started.
you want to go first? Okay, go.
I'll start.
Uh-huh.
When America said, I'm not buying your oil, right? It then made people
I'm
understand
not
that
buying your crude oil.
I'm not buying your crude oil.
Put you into a
it actually made people understand that all you were was an employee.
Mm.
All you've ever been. We will brag all day.
And then
about
just oil producing the
as soon as they shut the tap down, we don't know what to do. Guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna go back to need. We're gonna go back to need.
Right.
Farming,
Right.
fishing. We're gonna have to go back to need. Because crude oil is good. That became our economy. As soon as that stream got shut down, it always goes back to the bare necessities of life. Regular architecture where a kid who understands how to build is now an architect, not defined by measurements on AutoCAD and some certificates.
Thank you very much.
Need.
Okay. You go. Real quick. I mean, you actually said it on point. What would it take? And my brother, you were right on point. Because definitely, it's just like this society. It's funny you mentioned 28% of Americans education.
For your education.
For your education.
28.
28%.
It's not even 30.
No. In the world now, America is not even in the first 30 when it comes to the most
And
educated
they
people
love
in
it.
the world.
You know why?
We're
Because
not.
we control the internet.
Exactly.
We now have the new form of education.
Exactly. But the thing, and it's interesting to know that all the major scientific breakthroughs were designed by people that don't have 4-year colleges.
Of course
Bill
not.
Gates does not have a
Need.
4-year college. Ford,
Need.
the car, automobile internet, Ford does not have a
Of
4-year
course.
degree. All the major
It goes to what you
revolutions in life had nothing to do.
Entrepreneurs.
Look, but don't get me wrong though. Education
Education is
is
good.
good.
Absolutely.
Look, what I was
But
saying.
our topic, the reason why we are going this way is our topic
What I'll say is that-
education the solution
Right.
for black race.
Right.
And
Education
my
is not
no.
the solution to the black race, but education is good. Look, it's good to be knowledgeable, to know how to read and write.
Of
It's
course.
very good. Watch all those
No,
people
it's
that did
important.
major things. They either dropped out in 3rd year or final year of school, but they had some education. So the basic thing of reading and writing is a must. You cannot be illiterate, and because if you're illiterate and you have the most intelligent idea, somebody will steal it from you, and you still stay broke, and you'll be employed by that person. So,
Okay, thank you.
I want to answer this guy's question. In Nigeria, I have an idol, a guy that every day I walk, I'm trying to be like him. In every way, every shape, form, or size, I'm trying to be like this guy. His name is
Ben Bruce.
Ben.
I know your idol. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, his name is Ben Bruce. So I always like to go close to Ben, hang out with Ben, or anytime, just any chance for me to come close to Ben, I'll
Right.
do it. But people don't know why. The reason is this. Ben is someone who believes that instead of us exporting our crude oil, that we should go give those illiterates from those villages who that crude oil is coming out from, who their grandparents have taught them how to turn that crude oil into kerosene, turn that crude oil into petrol, that they have to go and steal small crude oil to come and turn into petrol and kerosene and go sell. Why don't the government step in and bring these people and say, you know what, instead of you trying to stick this crude oil, we're going to give you a portion of this crude oil like this, we're going to give you money, develop that your skill, and produce and supply to these cities.
Let me ask
I
you
wish.
this. Let me ask you this.
I'm trying to answer
Sure.
your question, right? You answer when is it
Yeah.
going to start. Before, we didn't have people in the government in Nigeria who thinks like Ben Bruce. Now, Ben only had a bachelor's degree. But if you ask him, you know what he will tell you? He will tell you, I have a bachelor's degree in marketing and business and marketing, but I have a PhD in common sense.
Chief, let me ask
And
you.
he always said it's about supply
And demand.
and the supply and demand.
Need.
Right.
Need.
Right.
Let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask, it's gonna tie right into what you just said.
Okay.
The biggest industry, one of the biggest industries now that we've exported from Nigeria is Nollywood. Let me ask you this. What school did that start in?
Okay.
How did it start?
I'll tell you how it started. Let me give you the history of Nollywood, how it started.
School of
Omata Boys.
homeschooling.
Omata Boys
Homeschooling,
is
right.
Onitsha Market Traders Association.
Thank
Right.
you.
The Omata Boys saw
The need.
The need.
Demand, supply.
Then it was VHS. When the VHS was
Living in bondage.
Living in bondage.
Right, right.
Hell!
So
Right.
when they saw Living
Neka.
in Bondage
Right.
being put on VHS and it's sold,
And it's all.
these Omata Boys are importers of car parts from China, right? They import car parts and they sell car parts, right? Some of them import different kinds of stuff. So what they did was they said, okay, since there's money
Nothing.
in this thing,
Wow.
right? When they go to import their cars, they also import empty VHS tapes, right? Now they pay you, the actors or the directors, or they go to them, they put in the VHS tapes, and then they start using their car part shops as
To sell
VHS
To
outlets.
sell it out. Yeah, that's how. Genius.
Do you understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Now let me add on to what you're saying, right?
So it wasn't.
Now
about
here's how the
education.
educational system works.
Right.
What they just did is the art of it. Art is the freedom of expression. You
Right.
just discovered this. The science of it is how you can do it again, right? So I just discovered this thing, and in order for me to pass down the information, I have to write it down so the next person understands how to do it. That's what the educational system is. That's what people are forgetting.
Right.
Just because there's a system there that has been passed down does not mean that's the only way.
Right.
That is where people are stuck.
Right.
You cannot keep thinking, I have to get this certificate to give me a brain.
True.
No.
True.
Because Omata boys discover
Omata boys-
something.
Good.
No,
Then
no,
they-
they-
Any-
all
any-
of
you have
the
something to
boys
say?
know. All
Okay,
of the
good.
boys know is buy and sell.
But
Right.
do you know that
Profit and loss.
then an educational system is going to come out of that, and
Right.
they're going to create something that's boxed in the paper, and people are going
But-
to believe that's the only way they can get to what Omata boys got.
Right, right. Guys, that's a good foundation. Thank you for explaining that. But do you know that if we're not careful, that our so-called ingenious idea creation, that our so-called Nollywood will be taken from us quickly.
Of course.
And
it's
it's-
happening.
Hold on.
And I'm going to mention this. I don't normally say this,
Okay.
but I think the Jewish people are already in on it. They're
Oh,
going
oh,
to control
oh, oh.
that our market very soon if we're not careful.
Okay, let me tell you why.
Tell me.
Let's go back to the point.
Yeah,
We will. Just real quick.
Our point is education the source. Now, Nollywood is a growing industry. The only way the Jews will take over is if our government still play that ignorance.
If they're playing ignorance, don't even go far.
And not dictate.
They're
that
playing.
this is right here is an oil field,
Pascal.
an oil mine, and invest in it.
Pascal, let me tell you how they're
That way,
playing.
before
Let
the
me
Jewish people
High five.
let me tell you.
I'll
Let me
give
tell you that
I'll
they're
give
playing
you
it right
high
now.
five.
Let me
No,
tell
but
you.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now those ones who have gone to school and studied
Thank you.
marketing, advertising, publicity, whatever. Now they
Okay.
should come in and look into Nollywood, and the government should put in
Okay,
money for
thank
them
you.
to design a structure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Because if somebody else come in and design that structure for you,
But then
that person
you
will
are
not
controlling
control it.
exactly. But you know it's happening now already. As
Of
we
course.
speak, and I'll tell you, give you an example.
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example. Thank goodness that we have this forum, to talk about these things. Recently, you were here in LA. There was a meeting where they said some company The name is Relativity Media. That's the name. They invited a bunch of producers and directors from Nigeria, and they had a conference. They had a
Can I ask
workshop.
a question?
Okay.
Did I go?
No, you didn't go. Good.
Okay.
I know. Okay, good.
Answer why I
They
didn't
had
go.
a forum. Now, when I heard this, you know what the meeting was? How they can help the industry to make better movies.
But
when I heard this, I laughed.
Let me
I laughed.
hold up.
Okay.
Just be respectful.
Okay, be
right?
respectful. Yeah.
Let me not demean the ideas that you're presenting, because this is one thing I will say. With all due respect, the Jewish community are very business savvy. That's one, right? They know how to make money. They respect the fact they have no shame in letting you know they know how to make money. If they see an opportunity, like any human being with a brain, when you see an opportunity, capitalize on the opportunity. What he said is important. If we don't understand, okay, it's important for us to keep something as well.
Let me finish now. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
LD, hold on, let me finish. That's where I'm going with this. So they had a meeting where they said it's a workshop to help us learn how to merge our technology with the Americans, so our movies are going to be better, blah, 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 blah. That's just bullshit.
It's not.
You know why it's bullshit? Because they're cutting into your cheese. They're not going to teach you how to make. People like Pascal in LA can make that quality movie they're trying to make.
Okay,
People
fine,
like me
hold on.
in LA can make that quality
Hold
movie.
on, hold on.
Yes, because you don't need Relativity Media to come in and show you
Let me
how
ask
to
you
make
this. Okay,
Hollywood
I'll challenge you.
of movies.
I'll challenge you.
Challenge me to any level. There's nothing they know that I don't know. And look.
See,
Hold on. You made a statement about Bill Gates and blah 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 about people that didn't get a 4-year degree and look at the revolution they've made, even the Facebook. Do you know that I've talked to a couple of people that are filmmakers. They're going to school to do to be a director, to be a producer, to be a this. I went to no school.
Stop that thing.
I went to no school to do production, okay? Everything I know in production today. What is this?
Is it a...
I have no clue. Okay. Everything I know about production, shooting movies, editing, I taught myself to edit. I taught myself to position camera, to learn lighting. Hold on. I taught myself everything about movie. Did I need Relativity Media? What I'm saying is, we have that knowledge, but we need to be smart enough to control what we have before you start letting so-called XYZ.
He said that
That's what I'm
already.
saying.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying. But you're saying it's okay. The Jewish people are like,
I didn't say, hold up. Let me Hold up. Let me say something now. You mentioned Facebook. Who are the biggest investors in Facebook? Who? You just mentioned them. You said Jewish people. The only difference now is you're personalizing it, believing that they're only coming for you. No, they go after business.
okay, good. Who gives
They go after
no.
business.
But the way and manner is happening. Look, I have no. Look,
He's already said that.
Exactly.
He's already
I
said
have
that.
no problem with people
We're going off
investing.
by the-
But no, but hold on, real quick. I'm going to yield after this. I have no problem with anybody coming in to invest money in something that is working. But you coming to teach us what is already working. That is wrong. We don't need someone to teach us. You can invest and make money that we control. You can't teach us because we made it work. All we need is the resources. That if you have the resources and you, because that's how slavery started. They'll come in to teach you, but before you know it, they take everything.
Okay,
Go ahead.
can I come in? Do you know why I didn't come to that? You told me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said I would not come. Those Nollywood people that came in here to listen to these people, there's nothing they can tell them that I don't know about Hollywood.
Exactly.
Cool.
I didn't come into Hollywood from the top, right?
Starting
I came
from
into
the
Hollywood
bottom
from the
down
bottom.
Grassroots. Correct.
Name the top 5 black men in the history of film, African Americans ever in Hollywood. Can you name 5 top black men, black actors?
Let's not...
Pascal Atuma.
No.
Pascal Atuma number 3.
No.
Nollywood? You said
I mean Hollywood, African American.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to.
Right.
Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson, Eddie Murphy.
No, I mean from old to now, current, old to now.
Cindy
Yeah,
Portier.
Harry Belafonte, maybe.
Where does Billy D. Williams fall into?
Pretty... He's an affluent.
He's up there.
Affluent. Okay, so you seen this part, Billy D. and the rest of them, right? Then you name the women, right? You name Whoopi Goldberg, Linda, all of them. So what's the point I'm trying to make? you come all the way from Nigeria to listen to the story of what another Nigerian can tell you. What do we call that?
It's not gonna happen.
What do we call that? Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's not gonna happen.
So, the problem we have is not that we don't have the people, which is why it comes out to entrepreneurship and respecting. Remember, I said one of the problems was respecting the other person. It's not that we cannot develop our things, and God has already given us natural resources to use to do it. The problem is that we do not value our own.
Thank you
We've
very
got
much.
since we went this far
Thank
with this
you very
one,
much.
we've got to do a version which is blacks in America. We have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should do that next.
We do not value ourselves because you coming from, I was in New York producing a movie when they made me call, told me these people were coming. I said, when they coming, they told me, I said,
Right.
I don't have the time. And I came back a night before that thing, right?
Right.
And I didn't go because I felt insulted.
Right.
Right? That my government, where I was born, Nigerian government,
Right.
because relatively media did not use their money to bring those.
No, it's the Nigerian government.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
That my government, instead of inviting me and asking me to bring the Nigerian professional in
Chief.
Hollywood for us
Never.
to come back
Chief.
to Lagos or Abuja, sit down and discuss how we
Chief.
can improve
Never.
ourselves.
We-
It feels like a white corporation, a Jewish corporation is the people that come and give
Let
us
me
solutions
help
to
you.
some of
Let
our
me help
problems.
you here. Let me help you here. I feel you.
Do you
You're
understand what I'm
passionate. I
saying?
feel you, and you're passionate about this because it's personal to you.
Yeah,
You're
it's
in that
not
position.
personal. They're my own.
I'm gonna say a couple
my
of
own
things. Though.
periphery.
Number one thing is, if there was a meeting like that, I will show up because there's never bad learning. You can always learn something.
No knowledge is lost knowledge.
No one
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
So my ego is not going to stop me from
But
sitting
it's
in.
not about ego.
Hold on.
There's a difference between ego and stupidity.
Hold up, Chief. It's not going to stop me from attending something like that that's being taught. Where they are teaching me.
No, but
where they are-
why do you call it ego?
Chief,
So
now-
why do you know? I want to know. Why do you call it ego?
Don't take
Okay.
it personal. I'm not attacking you.
No, you're not.
LD, land your point. Let's
I'm
move
trying
forward.
to
Let's
land
move
my
forward
point.
and stay on this point. Okay.
I will go and see what the meeting is about.
And
Another thing that you got to keep in mind is we've talked about this a lot of times. Whenever there's money, everyone comes. When the money's gone, if the money's go
The
with a honey
people-
stick,
yeah.
everybody will dip. At the end of the day, it's still you that's gonna tell the story because you did it when there was no money.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So you ain't gotta be worried about what they're doing now that there's money.
okay, that's your point.
That's my point.
Okay, good.
But now let's go back
now,
to the.
guys, please let's now. You want to bring this to America? Is education
have
the
to-
answer? No. Well, let's kind of summarize with that. Let's bring it back home.
Let's conclude.
Is education the answer to the black race? That was our topic,
Let's say
right?
Africa now because
Okay.
we're just Africa.
Yeah.
No,
Nigeria.
We started with black race. Let's finish with black race.
we're part of
So,
black race.
gentlemen, who wants to go first in the conclusion?
I want to go.
Okay,
first.
LD, please go.
Personal for me, very personal. First and foremost, I want to look at every parent out there, especially Nigerians. I definitely want to do a topic about African Americans, but I want to talk to the African families. You need to understand what need is. You need to really gauge your investments. If you have sons, this is my recommendation. Before the main focus is after high school, going to college and go and get a 4-year degree, please do yourself a favor. Teach him a skill. If it is farming, if it is mechanic, if it is fixing tire, something, right? Is education important?
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's nothing better than being educated. All I'm saying is the structure and the idea of what an education is what we need to revisit. That's all I'm saying. Educate your kids, if they need to go to Harvard, fine. One thing that you definitely need to do though, that we don't do in Nigeria, assessment. Assess your kid.
That's what I was thinking.
Find out what your kid actually wants to do.
And he's good at it. And he's good at it.
Exactly.
What his ability?
What is good at?
Yeah,
As
exactly.
that child state.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right, Amy, please.
The last part was going to be my conclusion,
Right,
but
go on.
basically, when you have a child and you see the child has certain types of, tendencies, and they have the things that they're interested in, things that they want to do. When I was a kid, I was dancing and singing all the time, and cracking jokes and doing voices since I was 6 years old.
Right.
And then my mom and dad look at me and tell me to go to law school
Right.
in the eye.
He's sitting in the eye.
So, and my entire life, everybody has
Right.
told me this is what you should be doing. So, when you have that in your child, it's going to be hard for, what I'm saying sounds like madness. No, a lot of people are going to be like, who is this idiot? But the truth is, you will benefit, the child will benefit, everyone will benefit. You see the child actually has natural inborn talent for whatever he wants, even if it's whatever it is. Because
Even if it's drawing.
and this is something I want to just add to. We don't even realize how deep it is. Even if it's, I'm even saying it, even if it's something, even if it's painting. It's painting, it's not even if it's, because we're saying even if it's because it's not doctor, lawyer, engineer. So it's really deep. That's why I asked, what are we gonna do to change? Because it's so innate in us now that we don't even realize what we're saying when we're saying it. We've already downcasted something that could make your child and your family millions. As you know, when we talk about things that people value, because we know how what we value. A lot of us
Especially from where we come from.
We value prestige and money a lot. We value prestige and money. Those are things we value when, at least from the outside looking in. So you have a child, you have a son or daughter. They have a talent, they have a skill, they have an interest. Foster that interest. Pour into your children, into their interests, into the things that they want to do. And then, secondly, lastly, I think we talked about the corruption and all those things. It goes back to valuing yourself and valuing what you already have. The metaphor that we keep using in and out is that valuing what you have and looking into what you actually already have. Charity begins at home. And a lot of us, most of us don't look at that. Our value systems are out of whack. And then we get upset when we get into these lifestyles and we're soulless.
Wow.
You know.
Okay, Pascal.
All right.
Let's do it, 'cause-
This is the conclusion.
Right, right.
Is education the solution the black
Of the black race.
the black race? And from John's day one, I said no.
Very cool. Huh?
Everybody was not born to be educated. Everybody was not given the brain to even understand education.
So can you say one more time, please?
Everybody was not given the brain.
Oh man!
I think that's another topic anyway.
No, I'm going to explain myself.
No, I know what you're saying. I agree with you.
Everybody was not even given the brain to understand the education, but they were given the brain to understand something else. I give you an example. When we were in high school, it's a friend of ours. It was Oscar, my brother, his friend, his classmate. This guy failed class 5 times.
Good job.
The school will
They will call it Mumu.
The school is government college Umuahia is fail and fail out. So there's a way you fail. Once you fail, anytime you're gone. But his own failure is always at that average.
He's just
That's
such a great failure.
Almost.
Almost a great failure.
So good at failing.
When they say that he failed, your failure is enough for him to repeat. Right? So
Repeat offender.
This guy was my brother's classmate. My brother was in class 4, I was in class 3. This guy failed. Then I met him at class 3, right? He did class 3 with us. So he failed and moved to class 4, he was still at class 3.
Damn,
He
Brad.
failed again and moved to class 5, but he always fell at that average. Now, a guy like that, what is the need of keeping him in school when you can take him out and go see if he knows if mechanic will work
Exactly.
for him, or
Do it
if
with his hands.
soccer will work for him, or just a trade?
What you're saying sounds crazy to a lot of people right now.
It sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Because you know what? As we speak today, that guy is useless.
Because he kept forcing him.
Because they kept forcing him to be what God did not give him to be.
It's not a joke.
No,
It's not a joke at all.
It's not a joke
If my
at
brother
all.
Oscar is watching this thing now, he knows exactly who I'm talking about.
It's okay. I think you're talking about a lot of people.
But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what am I saying?
I'm one.
Yeah, hold on.
I used to collect fail like it
Hold
was
on.
fishing.
Hold on.
I was just failing.
So my conclusion, what am I saying is
I ain't
this.
failing no more though.
Education is good. Education is necessary. Education is important. We need educated people in
Of
the
course.
society.
Oh, yeah.
Of
If
course.
Obama was not educated, we would not have the first black president in America.
Of course.
But guess what? That was Obama's own calling and Obama's own gift.
High
To go
five.
to school.
Right.
High
Right?
five.
You understand what I'm saying?
His
To go to
calling.
school and be educated and become
Right.
president. That's his calling, his
Shit.
destiny.
Right.
But if your calling is to, if you see a kid every day he's trying to break things and fix it, my brother and sister, look into it. There's 2 ways for it. He can go to school and become a mechanical engineer, or he can actually go out there and learn how to do carpentry work and start building chairs or building bed. If 2 times 2, you've told him 10 times is 4, and he still says it's 3. His brain was not structured to understand that it's 4. No,
You gotta conclude. I
Go- go
go to
ahead, go ahead.
You
Yeah,
gotta
so
conclude.
what am I saying? Education is not the only solution to our problem. We need to respect one another. We need to build our family structures. We need to become entrepreneurs. If you know how to sell groundnut, go from selling groundnut to selling bags of groundnut.
Swag.
Go from selling bags of groundnut and find out how to manufacture,
How to dangle to yourself.
how to have a groundnut farm. And now become a groundnut supplier instead of a groundnut seller.
What's
That's
cool? You think they're all
entrepreneurship.
tycoons in America?
You see what I'm saying? So that's my conclusion.
Wow, Pascal, I think we should give you a
Presidency!
hell.
ministerial certificate or something. Pascal. Okay, good. Before this, guys, let me forget what I want to say.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
You're another
Our topic is education the answer for the black race? Definitely no, education is not the answer, but I'll say re-education is the answer for the black race and for the Africans, because we've talked a lot about Nigeria, where we're from. Re-education is very important, and decolonization of our mentality of thinking that everything white or foreign is the best for us. That is totally wrong, okay? You talked about some things about training a kid, letting a kid be what they are. That's why I'm very careful with how I raise my daughter. My daughter is very full of energy. She's full of energy. If you try to get her, like when we go to some places, I try to marginalize her. So sometimes I tell myself, no, let this kid be herself. And I just, as long as she's not causing trouble or hurting herself or hurting other people, I let her be, because she's not like other kids that go somewhere and they have to be quiet and calm. No, I try to watch her and see she has some talent, some gift. I think she's very athletic. I've started noticing that, because initially I thought I was going to raise a daughter that can sing, that should sing and act, because I'm in entertainment, and I was always thinking this girl has to act and sing. From day one, I wanted to start taking her to auditions, but she grew up, she was a very shy girl, very shy. So I'm like, okay, good. Lord, what do I do now? This girl's goal is different from what I wanted to do. But the older she gets, she's breaking her shyness, which is a great thing for me, because now she's very talkative in front of people. And now that's kind of... So my point is, let people be what they were brought on, what God put in them to be. As a parent, it's very important. Look, who are you to now decide and pick and choose a career for your child? Don't do that. Don't do that.
You can advise.
Who are you?
Advise.
You can advise, but enable. It's your duty to provide an environment that will enable and enhance your daughter to fulfill their God-given potential on earth. That's what your duty as a parent should be. I'm not done though.
You're not
but
done. Let me
help
add something.
Yes.
Let me add something.
Yes.
You said as a parent,
Thank you, sir.
hold on, your job is to nurture, not to create.
Hell!
Correct.
What's going on with these Igbo boys today?
Nurture what God has already created.
Thank you
God
very much.
has already put in that person like you.
Thank you
They
very
need to
much.
Nurture that and grow it.
Thank you
Not
very
to
much.
try
Can I ask you just? I want to
When I'm done, let me just finish though. Okay, good. So guys, look, we know we're bashing education, but all we're saying is whatever ability you have, appreciate it, embrace it, respect it, because society has taught you if you're not a lawyer, doctor, blah blah blah, you're less of importance.
Can I ask you?
It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. I could have been an athlete. I know that if back in my time, if that was appreciated and if I was encouraged in back in my time, I could have been even now. I'm in the arts. I could have been further along in the arts back then if that was if that was embraced and if I was given a platform back then. So all I'm saying is appreciate who you are and embrace what you have as a gift. Okay? Thank you very much, guys.
Just a quick anecdote. When my dad first came to this country, his dad told him, you're going to be a doctor, period. He was taking organic chemistry, he was okay with biology, chemistry, he got to organic chemistry, the way he was flunking that thing like he was like still up flunking. Then, he told his dad, look, I'm going to change my his dad cut him off financially. And back then, the naira was higher than
Was
a dollar.
coming from, yes.
So he was sending my dad
Yeah.
money. So he switched his major to, I think I want to say political science.
Oh, political science.
Because he wanted to go into, he was just
Right.
had a natural knack for it. Now, why I'm bringing the story up is, let's not forget what, because a lot of times some people forget that they themselves went through the same.
Let me add to this. Let me add to this. This can be another topic. This can be another topic.
I didn't finish.
No, I just, they themselves went through this also. Another thing that I found is very, very, very sad is that I love my mom to death, love my mother to death. But my mom is also artistic. My mom was also doing communication. My mom worked at a TV station, you know. She also did theater in Nigeria when they were doing Shakespeare.
So that's your actual setting.
It's in me.
Wow.
But as a child,
That was suppressed.
Now let me say
Because
this.
of the environment.
Let me say this.
Okay.
Let me say one thing. And it goes back to the reason why the United States of America to me is still one of the greatest countries on earth is because the freedom of thinking.
Freedom to explore.
Freedom to explore. And since you said that, and we've mentioned all these things, I believe truly that is one of the main reasons why Nigeria does not move forward.
Thank you very much. You said it on point. Okay, guys. APT.
Because
This was
that's
a
good.
guys, we can conclude till for another hour.